I'm Akash.
And I'm Amrita.
And welcome back to the sort of talk show thing that we've been doing. Okay, so as you all know, we have recently competed at the Scripps National Spelling Bee this year in Washington, D.C. So yeah, how do you feel about, competing at the Scripps National Spelling Bee for the first time?
This was a wonderful experience this year, and this is my first time competing as a participant, and I have to say, it's a completely different experience being on stage rather than being in the audience as a family member.
So yeah, once again, thanks so much, Amrita, for, sharing your sort of insight into the whole
thing. It was an awesome experience, and it's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, to be honest, I felt like the exact same way you are right now when I competed at the Scripps National Spelling Bee for the first time when I was just 6 years old. That was my first time competing, and I felt so grateful for everything that had happened at that point. And now I'm 9 years old. This is my third time competing at the National Spelling Bee.
And what's so special this year?
And what's really special is that both of us have competed at the 2019 Scripps National Spelling Bee, which is honestly really, really cool because both of us had competed together in the same bee, which is honestly really, really cool and such a really rare experience through of course, the power of RSVP.
Okay.
So yeah, let's quickly walk through the events. So first was Monday, May 27th, 2019, when we took the round 1 preliminaries written test, which was, in my opinion, really hard. Of course, all spellers had to take it, so we took it.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty hard test.
Yeah.
And I can see why they did it, considering they're going to have to filter these 570 kids into just 50.
Yeah, and that's literally decimating. It's just decimating.
Okay, now let's go to the next day.
And
there's also the opening ceremony on Monday.
Right.
You can't forget about that.
Of course.
It has the opening of it's the official opening of the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
Yeah, right. That's really cool. I actually got to be on stage. This is so cool to light up the bee, which is, of course, you already know it, the top light that reads the National Spelling Bee. Yeah, you already know that. So yeah, and afterwards, after the opening ceremony is
the kickoff party.
Yes, the kickoff party is so awesome. I love it.
It's really fun. There's board games, face painting, poster making, dancing,
and then outdoor games, everything. Yeah, there's everything, and also that kind of
beanbag toss.
Yeah, beanbag toss.
Okay.
Beanbag toss too.
Time to go to the next day, the 28th. Tuesday.
Yeah.
We have round 2.
Round 2.
My word in round 2 was dichondra. 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 I got it correct, obviously.
Okay.
What about you?
And my one, I said winning word. No, my word was ranunculus, which is ranunculus. Ranunculus. And of course, I spelled that word correctly too. So, what happens next?
Meaning, spelling round 2 correctly
means you advance to Wednesday, May 29th, which is round 3.
Also known as Akash's birthday.
Yeah, it was my birthday. It was really, really fun on that day. We played bananagrams until 1 or 2 a.m. And we also, of course, had the traditional birthday cake. And we also had birthday. It was really cool. So yeah, what happened on
his birthday was fun, but first we got to talk about, the spelling bee.
Yeah.
Round 3. Round 3 has words that come straight from the dictionary.
Yeah.
And my word was carbohydrates. Fairly easy. carbohydrates. Carbohydrates.
Yeah, good. Of course I got that word right. And my word was just as easy. It was quota.
Quota.
Which is Quota. Quota. So yeah,
Okay.
of course I got the word correctly. You already know that. So what happens later that evening?
Later that evening, we had a birthday party with some of the spellers that were in the same area in the lobby of the Gaylord that we were staying in.
Also on the same day, you guessed it, they announced the finalists, who would be going who would be going on air to spell words live on ESPN2 the next day. And what really separated who goes in and who doesn't was really the preliminaries test, round 1, the written. It was so hard, and that's really what gave a clear filtering as to who gets in and who doesn't. And unfortunately,
we didn't make it, but
hopefully we can make it next year.
Yeah,
with a lot of hard work, hopefully we can.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so after all that partying and birthday caking and bananagrams, what comes next?
We go on to Thursday, the finals.
Thursday, yeah. Okay, so
the top 50 competes on Thursday.
Yeah, they did.
In the daytime finals, we have the top 50 go on compete until there's only a few left.
Like 10 to 15 usually. But surprisingly, the field was getting so competitive, very competitive. And so usually, at the end of the daytime finals, I have they'll go until round 6 or maybe 7. And then round 8 and onwards will come in and the primetime finals later that evening. But the field was so competitive, they didn't just go to 8 rounds. They went to 9 staggeringly difficult rounds in the daytime finals. And even then, there were still 16 people left when they went to the primetime finals. And what's even more surprising, there weren't just one champion, not 2, not even 3. There were 8. 8 Octo champions. For the first time ever, we had witnessed history being made. This is going to go down in the Scripps National Spelling Bee history as the only time when we had Octo champions, a group of co-champions being crowned. This has never happened, and I don't believe it will happen ever again in Spelling Bee history. This is really crazy. Honestly, it's so awesome.
We stayed up late because we had to, watch the Spelling Bee be finished because that's how long it took. And we stayed up until midnight to see it, to witness it being finished.
And oh my gosh, it's so cool. And the most craziest part is what they did was they took of course it was a brave decision to go ahead and crown all 8 champions, but they made an even braver idea and went ahead with giving the full $50,000 to each one of the champions, which means $400,000.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's kind of a lot.
Anyways, these champions probably are tired of spelling until midnight.
Yeah, but I really feel that all of them really deserve the trophy. They all worked so hard for many years, and all of their hard work paid off with this.
They're probably tired and stuff and they need to get a good rest, but it's not only because they spelled until midnight, but also because they've got partying to do the next day.
And not just partying, speeches during the awards banquet on Friday, which is the awards banquet on for Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday. Which is really fun. I mean, we get to eat good old dinner, and we also get to have some really funny comedy in the meanwhile, and awesome magic, of course.
They announced the cash prizes to the finalists that eat on stage.
And furthermore, even better, of course, they gave awesome sort of descriptions as to how each one of the spellers worked their hardest to come up to this point of winning the national spelling.
Each of the 8 champions gave their champion speech that normally only one champion would do.
But they did it to all 8, one at a time. Okay,
so
really awesome.
After this awards banquet, we had we had the farewell party,
which is even bigger feast. It's so awesome.
It's one of my favorite. One of my favorite things in the entire. It's my favorite event in the entirety of the week
because
there's a bunch of singing, dancing,
music, board games, beanbag tossing, outdoor games. You got everything in there, of course.
The kickoff party.
Right, but still, you've got so much awesome. It's literally just music, songs, and dance until we're tired. And when we mean tired, we still mean like 1 or 2 o'clock in the
evening.
In midnight. It still goes until midnight or further. And it was still really awesome. You know, we get to mingle with all our fellow spellers that day, and it's really just so much fun. Yeah, and then of course, that's basically the all of the week in a simple nutshell. It was overall really fun, the entire experience, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, it was so awesome. And of course, Friday is also the day for a bunch of other things you may know, like
autograph signing.
Yeah, on the Beekeeper, which is like the best part. You get to autograph. I autographed a lot of people. And then of course, mingling with friends, playing, and you know, all that sort of awesome stuff. And of course, the farewell party. And so yeah, that's basically Bee Week. During Bee Week, it was such an honor to meet many former champions, such as the 1985 champion and the first Indian American to win the National Spelling Bee, Bala Natarajan, and then the 2000 champion, George Stampy, and then who else? Of course, the 2015 champion, Vanya, and the 2009 champion, Kavya. And then, of course, let's see, who have we got here? The 2014 co-champions, Shriram Hatwar and Ansan Sujo. And then, of course, Shriram's brother, who won the 2016 Scripps National Spelling Bee, Jairam, and then Jairam Hatwar. And then, of course, it was also such an honor to meet many bee officials as well. Of course, including the Associate Pronouncer of the Scripps National Spelling Bee, Dr. Siatsima, and who else? The MW Editor-at-Large, Peter Sokolowski, and the EW Scripps Company CEO, Adam Simpson. And finally, of course, it was really fun to have taken photos with, of course, the king bee and queen bee near the beehive, which is literally just the little foam pit that was there in 2016. Yeah, it was really fun doing the whole thing, and it was such an honor once again to meet all these awesome people. And yeah, that's basically all of Bee Week. Once again, it was so much fun to be there, especially with my sister competing at the Scripps National Spelling Bee this year. And of course, we'll come back next year and we'll study hard, and hopefully we'll do something awesome next year. So yeah, once again, thanks so much for watching The Talk Show. Once again, I'm Akash.
And I'm Amrita.
And thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.